I am Ivan Michael Chance of IT 2102 Batangas State University, Bachelor of Science in Information Technology. And so today I'll be doing another activity in Cisco CCNA Routing and Switching in NetAcad. And we are now in Chapter 3. I'll be doing the activities in Chapter 3. So I think all in all there are 3 activities in Chapter 3. And the 3 activities are activity mapping the protocols of the TCP IP suite, activity identify layers and functions, and the another activity is identify the PDU layer. So all the activities is about the network protocols and communication. So let's start with the first one. So the first activity, drag the protocol or standard the TCP IP layer name as described. So we're going to choose if the protocol is an application, transport, internet, or network access. And so let's start. The first one is the Ethernet. Ethernet is definitely a network access. And the second is SMTP. So I think SMTP is a application. The POP is another application. Then we also have the TCP. I think it's a way of transport. And also one way of transport is the UDP. The internet has the IP. I think this would be here in application. Also, else HTTP, I guess. And I think this OSPF is in the internet. And internet drivers, interface drivers is the network access. And the I think this one is also here. And then FTP, and then all 4 here. Let's see. ICMP is, I think it is in the internet, and FTP is an application, so I'm not really sure. So let's check. It says correct, you've successfully matched the protocol name to the correct TCP IP layer. So we have correctly answered that first activity. Let us now proceed to the second one. The second one is the needed page 3.2.4.5 and drag the OSI layer into its functional description. So we have a OSI layer. It's given here, and now we're going to drag it to its description or definition. We have 2 figures, so I think there 2 answers, 2 things that we have to answer. Now let's do the first one, or the figure 1. Segments, transfers, and reassembles data let's choose here between application, presentation, session, transport, network, data link, and physical. I think the keyword here is transfers, so I think it's transport, exchanges frames between devices, it's data link, contains protocols used for process-to-process communications, contains the protocol, so I think the one that contains the protocols is the application we are using, provides a path or route, it's definitely the network, and the last one is bit transmission, and I think it's physical. Let's try it. Now let's check. It says correct, you have successfully matched the OSI layer to its functional description. So we have answered that first figure. Now let's proceed to the second one. Now the instruction here is drag the TCP IP layer to its functional description. So we have 4 TCP layers or IP layers, and these are the descriptions. We're going to drag it if it is between these 4: controls hardware, devices, and media, supports communication across diverse network, determines the best path through the network, and represents data to the user and controls dialogue. So the first one is controls hardware, devices, and media. I think it's the one that controls the devices and media is network access. Supports communication through across diverse networks. Across, I think it's definitely transport. Determines the best path through the network. It's the internet and represents data through the user. Controls dialogue. It's application. The last one. So let's check. Correct, you have successfully matched the OSI layers to its functional description. So we have answered that activity. Now to the last activity. Activity in 3.3.1.5. Identify the PDU layer. Drag the PDU to the appropriate place and stack to illustrate the order of encapsulation process. So we are just going to match it before the like the process or how it works. So like the method of encapsulating the data. So email, let's start with the user here. So he will encapsulate the data or send an email, then the data will be encapsulated. So the email data, I think it's here, it always starts with the data. Then do this, the data next is segments, then it will become a packets, then from packets it will become a frames, from frames bits. I'm not really sure, so let's check. Correct, you have successfully placed the PDUs in correct order to illustrate the encapsulation process. So we have answered that correctly. Now we're just going to have a little read or summarize the entire chapter 3, network protocols and communications. So here's the summary. Data networks are a system of end devices, intermediary devices, and media connecting them for communication to occur. These devices must know how to communicate. So in this chapter, we are just learning how the different devices communicate to each other to like just like the previous activity encapsulating the data. They communicate to effectively encapsulate the data and send it to the receiver. These devices must comply with the communication rules and protocols. TCP is an example of the protocols too. Most protocols are created by the organizations such as really sure the protocols. The protocols are created by the different organizations like the IETF or IEE or the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers. It is a professional organization for those electrical engineering and electronics fields. The most widely used networking models are the OSI and TCP IP models associating the protocols and set the rules of data communications, and different layers of this model is useful in determining which devices and services are called to the specific points as passes across the lands at once. So all in all, here in they are just telling us the protocols that the different companies, organizations created, and explaining to us how the different devices communicate with each other. So that's it for this video, and thanks for watching.